Guys, in today's video I want to show you how to quickly smoothen any photo or the face of any photo in Adobe Photoshop. So here in Photoshop, what you do is you drag in the photo you want to use, then you duplicate the image into two. You hold on Ctrl or Command J on your keyboard to duplicate the image. Name the first layer face smoothing, or just name it face, and then at the second layer you can leave it as it is, the background layer. Move straight to filter and then choose photo toolbox. Select skin finer and then let's see the magic that happens to this particular image. Now here in skin finer, automatically the face is already smoothened by this particular plugin. So what you do is you click to zoom in to see the effect. So you can reduce it by touching on the minus sign here. So when you touch the minus sign, it will adjust itself for you to see the full view of the image. Now let's look at before and after. So now this is before and then this is after. You can still zoom in to see it clearly. Now look at the face here. So this is before and then this is after. Still you can apply further adjustment to this particular image. So when we move to the other adjustment, you can see that smoothing is at 80%. So what you do is, if you really want more smoothing on the face, what you do is you set it to 100% and the face is more smoothing. Now if you move to the find adjustment, what we do is it's at minus 50, but I like this kind of natural kind of texture on the face, not completely smoothing. So I'll just reduce the fine to -100 to have this kind of texture. If I zoom in, you can see that the face is having some kind of special texture. Now what you do next is you can still move to the other adjustment and then apply whatever you want to apply. We have hue and saturation. I will not touch it, but the brightness, maybe you can increase the brightness a bit. You can touch the shadows and then drag some shadows to the face. The highlight can also be increased and then reduced. So if you are certain with this particular position or this particular effect of the image, what you do next is you hit on OK and then you wait for the magic to happen in Adobe Photoshop. So let's wait for the magic as it loads. Now let's quickly see the magic in Adobe Photoshop. Now if you take a very good look at the photo, let's turn this particular image, the first layer, face off, and then you see before and after. So let's turn it off. Now this is our before and now this is our after. So if you zoom in very well, what you see, the face is properly smoothing and you could see that there is no much blemishes, even though we still have some pimples which you can still work on, but I can say that 80% of the work is done. The smoothing is done, so you are not going to worry yourself to go by any long process. So what we do next is, if you really want to remove any pimples on the face, what you do is we'll go to the adjustment layer, then we select black and white. At the black and white level, set it to 100 -100 so that you see any pimples hidden in the face. So then go to the patch tool, select the patch tool. If you are not seeing patch tool, click on the spot healing brush tool and then you see patch tool inside that particular group. Select it and then select the face layer, draw around any pimples and drag it to any part of the image that is smooth. So once you are done, you hit Ctrl or Command D on your keyboard, select any pimples again and then drag it to any other part of the image that is smooth. So you repeat this process to any other part of the image. After quickly removing all the blemishes, what you do is you turn off the black and white layer, and now look at the face. Now this is before and then this is after. Now we can still work on the eye because the eye looks a bit reddish or yellowish, so you can touch the eyeball. But let me give you a simple way to touch the eyeball. There are so many ways you can whiten the eyeball of any photo or any raster image, but let's go by the simple format. First thing you do is you create a new layer, then you go to the brush preset, select the brush tool, make sure the brush tool is set to the soft round brush. So you set to soft round brush, then you make sure your foreground color is also set to white. You click and then set your foreground color to white. Opacity here at the options bar is 35%. The flow is also 25%. So what you do is you move straight to the eyeball, then you reduce the size of the brush to fit to the portions of the eye, or you increase it to also fit to the portions of the image you are using. So what you do is you click, you take your time to do this. Make sure you don't paint outside the eye, but this time you take your time, then you brush gently. So you repeat the same process for the other side. So this is how you can easily whiten the eye. Just brush gently, reduce the brush size, move to the other part of the eye, take your time, click and brush all the yellowish portions. You can increase the size, but you make sure you brush inside the eye, not outskirt of the eye. You move to the other side, you can increase the size of the brush, then take your time and brush only the white portions. By the way, you can repeat the same process to the black or the dark side of the eye. You can repeat the same process to that particular portion. So I feel that this particular process or this particular effect is okay for me. So once it's okay, what you do is you turn it off. So this is before and then this is after. Before and after, before and after. So what you do next is you go to the blending mode option, then you set it to screen. You can reduce the opacity, but I'll leave it the way it is because it's not all that deep, so it's okay for me. So once you are done with this process, you can now zoom in or zoom out to see the actual effect of the image. If your image still look whitish like what I am seeing on the screen, even though the image is well smoothened, but I feel like it still look whitish. So what I'll do is I'll go to adjustment layer, then I'll add some sort of hue and saturation to it. So at this particular point, I'll set the hue to 15%. Plus 15 is okay for me. Then I will leave it. Now you could see that we have this kind of natural color over the face. Now you can select everything together and then you group it by holding Ctrl or Command J on your keyboard. Then turn it off and see before and then after, before and then after. Thank you very much for joining me to the end of this video.